The tragic story of Lilie James, a tale of love, obsession, and betrayal. The story of Lilie James is one that will forever haunt the corridors of St. Andrew's Cathedral School in Sydney, Australia. A promising young woman full of life and aspirations was brutally murdered in a place where she should have felt safest. The man responsible for this horrific crime was someone she had once trusted, Paul Thijssen, a former colleague and a person with whom she had previously shared a brief romance. This is not just a story of love gone awry. It is a cautionary tale of obsession, control, and a trust that shattered into unthinkable betrayal. It serves as a grim reminder of the darkness that can lie behind closed doors, the dangers of possessiveness, and the terrifying consequences when rejection meets malicious intent. This is the devastating case of Lilie James and Paul Thijssen, a story that shook a nation to its core. At the young age of 21, Lilie James had her whole life ahead of her. She was a talented and dedicated athlete, qualities that fueled her passion for water polo. Lilie turned that passion into a meaningful career as a water polo coach at St. Andrew's Cathedral School, where she inspired and guided others. Her students adored her, her colleagues admired her professionalism, and her family was endlessly proud of her achievements. Lilie grew up in a supportive and loving environment. By all accounts, she was an intelligent, kind, and driven young woman. Her life was meant to be filled with opportunities and fulfillment, until she crossed paths with a man who would change it forever. Paul Thijssen, 24, was no stranger to St. Andrew's Cathedral School. A former student and athlete, he returned to the institution as a sports assistant. On the surface, Paul appeared calm, quiet, and disciplined, a figure many considered trustworthy. At some point in 2023, Paul and Lilie became romantically involved. However, the relationship was brief. Details about what led to their breakup remain unknown to the public, but it's evident Lilie saw something in Paul that unsettled her. Perhaps she recognized his unhealthy tendencies, his inability to accept boundaries, or his refusal to respect her independence. Regardless of her reasons, the breakup should have been a routine end to their short-lived romance. But to Paul, parting ways with Lilie was not an option. Friends and colleagues later recalled Paul's intense jealousy and inability to handle rejection. His obsessive nature grew, and heartbreak transformed into something far more sinister, a calculated desire for control and revenge. On the evening of October 25th, Lilie remained dedicated to her work, staying late at St. Andrew's Cathedral School. She had no reason to suspect that someone was following her movements with malicious intent. Paul, driven by rage and obsession, had already made up his mind. This was not a crime of impulse or passion. It was premeditated murder. Under the guise of wanting to talk or perhaps seek closure, Paul lured Lilie into the gymnasium bathroom. Once they were alone, his true intentions emerged. In a horrifying and savage act, he attacked Lilie with a hammer. The blows to her head were not only brutal but also deliberate and fueled by uncontrollable rage. The aftermath was unspeakable. Lilie was left unrecognizable, and the horrifying scene Paul left behind revealed the depths of his unchecked anger and obsession. This was no longer just a murder. It was an act of utter dehumanization. But Paul was not finished. In a move that underscores the calculated nature of his crime, Paul used Lilie's phone to send deceptive messages to her family. His aim was to buy himself time by making it seem like Lilie was still alive. Although his attempt at misdirection was cruel and unsettling, no strategy could erase the gravity of the crime he had just committed. Lilie's lifeless body remained in the bathroom, hidden inside a shower stall. The vibrant young woman whose life had been filled with promise had fallen victim to a man who couldn't accept her autonomy. After orchestrating the grim scene at the school, Paul fled. But he didn't run in a panic. His actions showed a chilling level of deliberation. He made his way to Diamond Bay Reserve, a coastal cliffside known for its stunning views and its tragic history of suicides. Standing at the edge of the cliffs under the cover of night, Paul faced the irreversible consequences of his actions. Though one can only speculate what went through his mind in those final moments, he no longer saw a future. Rather than face accountability and justice for his unspeakable actions, Paul chose to end his own life. By the next day, his body was discovered at the base of the cliffs. The man responsible for an unspeakable tragedy had silenced himself forever, leaving behind shattered lives and unanswered questions. When authorities arrived at St. Andrew's Cathedral School, they encountered a crime scene of unimaginable horror in the gym bathroom. Investigators swiftly pieced together the sequence of events, relying on surveillance footage and the timeline of messages sent from Lilie's phone. All evidence pointed unmistakably to Paul Thijssen. The grim discovery of his body at Diamond Bay Reserve brought the case to a swift conclusion, but there was no solace for the loved ones left behind. Lilie's parents were devastated beyond words. Their cherished daughter, a young woman so full of potential, was gone. The school community, reeling from shock, struggled to come to terms with the tragedy that had unfolded within their walls. The nation of Australia was shaken. This was not just another crime story. It was a brutal reminder of the grave dangers posed by possessive and obsessive behavior. The story of Lilie James is not simply a tale of murder. It is an urgent wake-up call about the dangers lurking in toxic relationships. This case reminds us, no one should ever fear for their safety after saying no. Love must never manifest through possessiveness or control. Obsessive behavior, jealousy, and manipulation are red flags that can lead to devastating outcomes. Society must learn to recognize these signs early and provide support to individuals at risk. Education, awareness, and intervention are critical to preventing tragedies like this one. At its core, Lilie's story is a heartbreaking reminder of what can happen when boundaries are disrespected and obsessive tendencies spiral into violence. Lilie James deserved so much more. She should have been able to live her life, chase her dreams, and inspire others through her coaching and passion for sports. Her untimely death robbed her family of a daughter, her students of a role model, and the world of a bright light. Her story will not fade into obscurity. It will be remembered not only as a tragedy, but also as a call for change. We owe it to Lilie and to every young person who dreams of a safe and fulfilling life to ensure that her story brings greater awareness to the dangers of control and obsession. Because what happened to Lilie James must never happen again.